Hello, everyone. Let's take a look at homework 13 and 14. This week, there's a lot of calculating, so I'm going to encourage you to use your calculators this weekend or this week when you're doing your homework. We're using them in class. Feel free to use them at home also. The main goal is to understand how to set up the problems and what to multiply. So we're going to do a few of these, and hopefully each one we show you will give you some help so that you can answer one of the others on your own. So let's start off with number 1. It says that Silas buys a baseball for $8 plus 7% tax, and Hannah buys a football for $16 plus 6.5% tax. Can you write the difference in the amount they paid, including tax? Now remember, if we weren't including tax, I would just say, hey, the difference is 16 minus 8. You find the difference by subtracting. That would say they paid a difference, or Hannah paid $8 more. Her difference was $8 more. But they want us to find the tax first, so it's not quite that simple. So let's take a look here. I'm going to zoom in over here and talk about Silas. He pays 100% of the bill for his baseball. He pays the whole $8. Plus, he pays 7% tax. That's 7% of the price for the baseball. Right? And what we learned in class is that we can take this common factor out for a second and just add these two terms, right? So he ends up paying 107% of the common factor, 107% of 8, right? Now, hopefully you also remember that when we're talking about percents over 100, we could think about 100% as 100 hundredths, and we can think of 7% as 7 hundredths, and that comes out to be the 107%. As an improper fraction, right, you know that 100 goes into 107 once with 7 hundredths left over. So you can just think about this also as the 100% is the 1, and the 7% is the 7 hundredths, okay? So we know that he's going to pay 107% of 8. Now, I said you could use your calculator, but let's just crank this one out. It's not such a big deal. 107% of $8 is 7 times 8 is 56. 8 times 0 is 0 plus 5. And 8 times 1 is 8. We have 2 decimal places in here, so our answer will have 2 decimal places. Looks like he paid $8.56 for that baseball. Such a bargain. Let's check out Hannah and how much she paid. Hannah paid 100% of the $16. Plus, she paid 6.5% of $16. So altogether, she paid 106.5% of $16. This one's a little trickier, but just keep in mind we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. 106% is going to look like this. 100% is one whole amount. 6% looks like 6 hundredths, right? Percent, we're changing the percent to a number here. So 6% is 6 hundredths, and this dot 5, this decimal 5, this little bit more, just goes on the end. So 1.065 times 16, or 165 thousandths times 16. Now, here's a point where you might say, all right, now it's time to grab the calculator, right? We've got to multiply. Let me get a smaller pencil here. We have got to multiply 1.065 times 16. Right, so I'm going to jump out to our calculator. It's in here somewhere. One and 65 thousandths of $16 should come out to be a little more than $16. There it is, 1704. So this comes out to be $17.04. Now remember, our goal was to find the difference between these two prices. So let's see if we can do that, right? We'll take the larger amount, $17.04. I will subtract the smaller amount, $8.56. And what do we have? I'm going to need to borrow from 170, leaving me 169. And that adds 10 over here. So 10 plus 4 is 14. 14 minus 6 is going to be 8. 9 minus 5 is going to be 4. And 16 minus 8 is going to be 8. It seems like the difference between what they paid, what Hannah paid, and what the other kid paid, I can't remember his name, Silas, was $8.48. Okay? So there were two main things going on. One was finding out how much Hannah paid. The other was finding how much Silas paid. And then we had to find the difference between the two. That's problem number one. I got to say, I think that's the hardest one on here. These first couple pages are the most difficult. So there's that one. And that will help you with the second one also. It's exactly the same kind of problem. Okay? All right, let's scroll around. Let's try and find a different one. All right, an MP3 player is originally priced at $125, and the store owner gives a discount. And the MP3 player is now priced at $105.10. So write the percentage discount for the cost. So in this case, they're telling us straight up to find the percent. Right? So we know that the percent is missing. Right? We also, do we know the whole amount? Sure. The whole amount was $125. And do we know the part that this person paid? Or that someone would pay if they were buying it? Yeah, we know the part they were paying is $105.10. All right, so we're saying what percent of 125 is $105.10? You probably have, well, I know that you've done this. We've been doing this for weeks, right? It's a multiplication problem with a missing factor. It's a missing factor. So what do? Well, we're going to divide the product. Algebraically, I'm just going to show this to you because I really want us to get used to doing this. We are going to divide this number by 125, and we also have to divide this side by 125. Right? 125 divided by 125 is 1. That just leaves us with the percent, right, times 1, which is anything times 1 is itself. So that leaves us with the percent on this side. This cancels out. So the percent that we're looking for is going to be this number, 105.10 divided by 125. I'm going to jump out to my calculator again. Okay, 105.10 divided by 125. And that comes out to be 84.8408. 0.8408. And we are going to round, because we're looking for a percent, let's just round to the hundredths place. This would round to 84%. Now, before we get carried away from ourselves, what that means is that, change colors here, is that 84% of the original price is what's being paid, right? $105.10. The question is asking us about the discount. We need to be careful about this word discount. So we need to say, okay, it used to be 100%. And they took, and we paid 84%. So what is the difference? What's the part that's missing, right? And so that would be 6. It would be 16%. Right? We needed to take away the part we paid to see what was left over. So the discount was 16%, and we paid 84%. And those would add up to 100%. So remember, the discount is the part that's taken off. And this is the part that's left over that we pay. All right? All right, so the next one looks like another discount problem, right? The percent discount, right? The percent discount. Again, right? The percent discount. Right, so let's look at a different type of problem. Let's look at number 9. It says Gabby has a 40-ounce energy drink. She drinks 9 ounces. Write the percent of ounces that Gabby has left. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little diagram here. Right, let's say here's her energy drink. Comes in a can. And the whole thing is 40 ounces, and she has drank 9 ounces, right? So I know that most of it is left, right? We're trying to find out what's left. So let's color in the part that she drank. That's red. We know that was 9. So 40 minus 9 leaves us with 31% left. Is that right? Yeah, 31 ounces, right? And we're wondering, what percent is that, right? 31 is part of the can. They're asking us, what percent is that part? So let's go back to our percent formula, right? We're missing the percent of 40 ounces. That is 31 ounces, the part. Right? They're asking us, what percent of her soda is this part? So again, we're going to use a little bit of algebra, right? I'm going to say, I need to find this missing piece. So I'm going to divide both sides by 40. 40 divided by 40 cancels out and leaves us with the percent on this side, the percent times 1, which is just the percent. And on this side, we've got 31 divided by 40. And at this point, you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, these keep showing up where I have like a smaller number on top of the bottom number. And that's right, because we're trying to find a percent. So 31 out of 40 is well, it's actually a lot more than half. So I'm going to suggest that maybe it's like, I don't know, 70% left, right? If she drank 20 out of 40, if there was 20 out of 40 left, then I would say that's 50%. 20 out of 40 would be 50. But this is more than 20%. So we're looking for a percent that's more than 70 or more than 50. Let's go to the calculator and find out. 31 divided by 40. 31 divided by 40 comes out to be, oops, let me throw this, 77.5%. 77 hundredths and a little bit more comes out to be 775 thousandths, right? And as a percent, that would be 77.5%. Again, 77 hundredths is 77% with a little bit extra on the end. So it turns out that 31 out of 40 ounces is 77.5%. Okay. Now, as you do more of these, I'm just going to talk about number 9. The next one look like the same. They're roughly the same, right? What's the percent that he has left from his smoothie? What percentage does she have left, right? What percentage does he have left? So you're going to notice that you can just simply write this as a fraction, right? If I just started off by saying, hey, what is 31 ounces out of 40? That fraction would simplify to my answer, right? So you can kind of skip over some of this algebra if you can begin to express the part over the whole ratio and find your answer. All right, let's do another one on the back. This one, I find this one to be a little challenging here. Duncan spent $480 on a television set, and he had $320 left. What percent of his money did he spend on the TV set? Well, let's set up our formula, right? The percent of the whole equals the part that he spent on the TV set. Now, I know the part is $480, but this is a little tricky because I don't know, it doesn't tell me what percent he spent on the television. In fact, that's what they're asking me to find, right? I know they're asking me to find the percent, and I don't know the whole amount. Right? How am I supposed to find the whole? It doesn't say. So what you have to do is try and figure out, like, well, if he spent 480 and he had 320 left, you can imagine how much money he had in his pocket before he bought the TV, right? He spent 480. He still has 320. Before he walked into the electronics store, he had $800 in his pocket. I should add those together, right? Spent, left, had. Right? He had $800. So we can just fill that in right here. Boom. All right? And again, we can just write this as a fraction, right? We know the part is 480. The whole was 800, and that will equal what we're looking for. Algebraically, it looks like this. I'm going to divide each side by 800. 800 divided by 800 just leaves me with the percent. And 480 divided by 800. Again, I'm going to try and think about this. Well, we'll make what we're showing here. I want to think about this before I go to the calculator. If I had $800 and I spent 400 out of 800, that would be 50%, right? That's half. This is a little bit more than half, 480 out of 800. So I'm going to estimate that it's going to be around 60%. I'm just going to, whatever. It's going to be more than 50%. Let's take a look. Oh, I just killed the calculator. See if I can find it again. Find out how this stupid thing works. And there's going to be a calculator here somewhere. There it is. $480 divided by 800 is, hey, I'm good. That's 6/10 or 6/100. So that would be 0.6 or 0.60. That is 60% of his money gone, spent on a TV set. Okay, great. Again, these are examples of the problems. These should help you do the other ones. So before you come to class and ask, please try and take these examples and do some of the others, okay? Try some of the others on your own. They're all pretty much the same. They all use the percent formula. So do your best and then come and ask for help. Great. Thank you so much.